Do it again. Let's see if she even flinches. The sneering voice sliced through the hum of the classroom like a knife. Megan Albright leaned forward, twisted her fingers into Sarah Mitchell's long brown hair, and yanked hard. Sarah's body jolted from the force, but her lips remained sealed. No scream. No tears. No words. The class erupted in laughter. Even Mrs. Garvey didn't notice. The teacher's eyes were glued to her phone, barely aware of what was unfolding right under her nose. But Sarah noticed. She noticed everything. Every cruel whisper. Every shove in the hallway. Every slap of a notebook off her desk. Every silence that followed her like a shadow. 16-year-old Sarah Mitchell hadn't always been this quiet. She once danced in the kitchen while baking cookies with her mom. She used to sing with her brother Ethan in the car, off-key and laughing. But that was before the accident. Before Ethan died on that icy road. Before her family shattered like glass. After Ethan's death, Sarah changed. She stopped laughing. Stopped singing. Stopped speaking altogether. Her parents thought moving to the quiet town of Crestwood might help her heal. But grief doesn't care about zip codes. And neither do bullies. On her first day at Crestwood High, Sarah walked in like a ghost. She didn't know anyone. She didn't want to know anyone. She just wanted to disappear. But sometimes, silence attracts attention in all the wrong ways. Tyler Carter, the football star with a fake grin and a cruel streak. Brandon Hill, his sidekick, always ready to laugh at someone else's pain. And Megan Albright, the queen bee with a venomous smile. They targeted Sarah because she was different. Because she wouldn't talk back. Because she was an easy target. They shoved her in the hallway. Ripped pages out of her notebooks. Mocked her behind her back and sometimes, right to her face. But Sarah? She stayed silent. Not because she was weak, but because she was waiting. What they didn't know was that Sarah had been documenting everything. She kept voice memos of every taunt. Photos of her bruises. Videos of Megan knocking her books from her hands. She even saved texts Brandon accidentally sent her, calling her names too cruel to repeat. Every afternoon, after school, she visited Mr. Lennox, the school counselor. A quiet man with kind eyes who never pushed her to speak, only listened. Slowly, she opened up. Word by word. Tear by tear. One day, Sarah looked up and whispered, "I'm not scared of them. I'm just scared no one will believe me." Mr. Lennox gently replied, "Then let's make them listen." And so she planned. She waited. Until that morning, in Mrs. Garvey's class. When Megan yanked her hair in front of everyone. When Brandon made another crude joke. When Tyler whispered, "Mute freak." Sarah stood up. For the first time in months, her voice rang out, loud and clear. "I'm done being silent." The class turned. Eyes wide. Jaws dropped. Sarah walked straight to the front of the room. Pulled out her phone. Dialed 911. Her voice didn't shake. "Hi, I'm a student at Crestwood High School. I've been assaulted repeatedly. I have evidence, and I want to press charges." The room froze. Mrs. Garvey scrambled to her feet, speechless. Megan stammered. Tyler laughed nervously. Brandon turned red. But it was too late. 15 minutes later, 2 police officers arrived. Mr. Lennox came with them, carrying a folder filled with Sarah's evidence. The school principal, Mr. Conrad, was called in. Parents were phoned. And when the officers looked through Sarah's folder, their faces turned serious. Handcuffs clicked. Tyler. Brandon. Megan. All escorted out of the classroom. In front of everyone. Megan sobbed. Brandon begged. Tyler cursed. Sarah? She just stood tall. For once, all eyes were on her, and this time, not because she was broken. The days that followed weren't easy. Whispers followed her through the hallways. Some kids called her a snitch. Others looked at her with newfound respect. Mrs. Garvey issued a formal apology. The school enforced new anti-bullying protocols. Teachers were retrained. Sarah's parents, who had once thought their daughter might never speak again, held her with tears in their eyes. And Sarah? She joined the debate team. She began speaking at assemblies about bullying and grief. Her story made the local news. Other quiet kids started coming to her, sharing their own stories. Some even told her she saved them from giving up. One afternoon, months later, a small girl named Lily stopped her in the hallway. My brother used to bully me and I thought maybe I deserved it. But then I saw what you did. Sarah smiled and knelt down to meet her eyes. No one deserves to be hurt. Not by anyone. But when you speak up, you remind them that you matter. Final message. This is not just a story about bullying. It's a story about courage rising from silence. Sarah Mitchell was never weak, she was gathering strength. And when she finally spoke, she didn't just stand up for herself. She stood up for every silent voice afraid to be heard. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful real-life tales of courage. And remember, one voice can change everything.